I'm Christopher Merrell. I'm the founder and president of Communications Consulting Group. I started the Communications Consulting Group because I saw a hole in the telecommunications industry. My last executive position, I managed 5 states and Puerto Rico for all community contracts for the service provider. My interests were dedicated towards the company and getting them a return on the investment. I had a team of skilled, dedicated negotiators that put the interest of the company first, as they should, and I decided that there was a gap. No one was looking out for the interest of the homeowners associations and the condo associations and the landowners in general. In that 14 years, we've been able to assemble an outstanding team of individuals. We have the former vice president of Comcast on our team, the former vice president of Charter Communications on our team, the former executive director for AT&T, lawyers, really good salespeople, and fantastic people that work with your communities to get the job done. So whether your board is educated at all with telecommunications or whether your board doesn't know anything about them, the idea here is that we educate you. Every board member has a fiduciary responsibility to their community. That's to get them the best possible services, the best value they possibly can. CCG stays with you every step of the way. It's important not only to educate the board that's responsible for the residents in the community, it's also important to be their advocate, their long-term partner. We don't take on a client unless we feel like we can really do some benefit for them, and the idea is to have a really good exchange. We keep you informed, we keep you educated. Technology's always changing, so it's our job to keep you as a company informed. Because every contract's different, and I'm telling you they're majorly different. There's so many different telecommunications companies out there. There's so many pages in a contract that attorneys with their interests at heart can add that put little nuances on it. We once had a contract that was offering a 5% revenue share to a client, only to read the contract a little bit further before they signed it that said the 5% would be administrated with a 5% administration fee. So I don't know what the net profit is on that, but it's not very much. One of the things Communications Consulting does with every single client is we take a look at the property, what they have now. Most properties weren't built last year with the finest in technology, so our goal is to find out what kind of services you have on the property now, even the infrastructure now. If there's an infrastructure issue on the property, believe me, as one resident picking up the phone and calling and complaining doesn't really help. But our company, because of the size, with over 4,100 properties, when we pick up the phone to call them, we know what we're talking about, we know what to look for, and we know how to make sure that any new contract you enter into is going to include the upgraded services your community needs to make sure you're future-proofed. People ask, when should you get us involved? Anytime. We've had customers come to us in the middle of a 10-year contract with 6 years left on it. We've been able to get them out of the contract and renew the contract with better circumstances for their individual properties. Any contract can be negotiated at any time. Sometimes the service provider might not want to do it and they'll say they can't, but there's plenty of ways to put leverage on them. Guess what? The other service providers who want access to your community, they can negotiate at any time. So it's better to make sure your community is always paying attention to telecommunications. It's something that we don't always think about when the phone's available to make a call or the internet's working fine. But as a fiduciary responsibility to your residents, you really need to keep your eye on telecommunications. Once we're hired on as a consultant, it's our job to make sure that we do that for you. For those of you who may have entered into a service provider contract already, or maybe you've already understood some revenue share or your community's enjoying some already from a service provider, I can't tell you how many times we find out simply by knowing the billing systems of cable data or CSG, just because of our experience, that you're not getting the right amount. You get a check every month or every quarter, that's great. How do you know it's the right amount? Once again, we don't only work with the service providers that are on the property. Our goal is to find as many service providers for your property as possible. Having 1 or 2, which is what most properties have today, is great. But your property is extremely valuable to the service providers. We can reach out to service providers who will actually come in to your particular property and build a system directly for you guys, whether it's a fiber system or whether it's a different type of system. There's wireless, there's fiber, there's all kinds of different methods and ways to service your property. We welcome all opportunity for you, and we're looking out for any interest that you have.